I said, give me a hell yeah.
Oh, like right now? Mm-hmm. All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to a stockholder share selling, Drake Maverick roller coaster riding, mid-card pushing episode of the Brothers of Discussion. We're going to talk everything from the rumors that Vince is looking to sell. What? Well, probably not, but maybe. Dive into another week of the Wednesday Night Wars, and man, wrestling has fully just buried its hands right in the couple jelly jars of managers, because they're everywhere right now. I'm ready to talk all that. We're going to try and do the show as efficiently as possible. Matt is on the mend. He's toughing it out just like a real professional wrestler. Matt, it's been hot and spicy. You got some spice right in your eyeball. How the heck are you?
I'm not doing great, everybody, but it's Thursday night, so we're recording.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the eye, if you're a fan of the Brothers of Discussion, you know that my daughter raked out my eye about a month ago. It was doing better, and so the doctor had to kind of play detective, as doctors do, you know, once they have to kind of diagnose what the situation is. So kind of like a perfect storm, my eyeball dried out. He thinks I probably had some sort of vivid dream, and my eye just went crazy while it was dried out, and all of the new cornea that made itself to protect my eye is now gone, and I scraped it all away underneath my eyelid, and I'm back. Actually, they said it's the worst that it's been. It's now considered, instead of just an abrasion on the cornea, they term it as a large abrasion. So yeah, I'm on drugs right now, so I'm doing okay. I can get through this as short as we can do it. But yeah, just figure if we have pro wrestlers out there, right, doing their moves when they're hurt, why isn't Matt just talking on a podcast when he's down to one eyeball? So yeah, I've got a contact lens in now. Actually, This will be fun. You can probably see it. Is the size of this pupil, and then the size of that one.
Ah! Ah! Jesus, Matt, you look like Kane in 2002.
Yeah, exactly. Just more or less the proof that this is actually going on. But yeah, there's a contact lens in there right now that's acting as a Band-Aid. And I was told, Mike, I got the great news that because of the way my eye reacted, this might be for the rest of my life that I have to deal with this. So protect your eyes around little ones. That's the message to send.
At least the newest, dirtiest player in the game, Little Nate. Yeah. At least, Matt, you kind of look like Thor. You know, when he had the extra eyeball that came out of Rocket Raccoon's butthole.
Well, yeah, you and I are in a book club, and I think it was the 5th chapter where the characters in our newest book in our book club met a guy. So this is on the day it happened, but they met a guy with a marble eye, and I was like, God, Jesus, that's going to be me. And I had you get that anxiety, that irrational fear of just because my eye hurts, I'm going to have a marble or a glass eye soon. But anyway, if you guys want to hear those episodes where the first strike happened from my daughter, you want to go to bodpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com. The social media has been pretty light because I can't look at my phone. I can't watch TV. All I have are audiobooks and podcasts right now. So thank you to everybody that's putting out content for me to listen to. Yeah, once I get back, what I wanted to start next week, Mike, here's the big announcement. We're going to be doing, in honor of my daughter, a new show I'm going to try and do on the daily called Nap Time. That's right. So when I put my daughter down for a nap, I'm going to be jumping on Twitter to do a live How Do You Do and talk about whatever the most pressing matter is in pro wrestling on that day. So that's going to be starting Monday.
Okay.
We just want to get some more live content out there for everybody. And, we've got stuff going on YouTube, Instagram now. Why aren't we doing something live on Twitter? And that'll be my little How Do You Do, probably around noon. It will have to fluctuate depending on when I get my daughter to go down for her nap. But nap time starting this Monday with the Brothers Discussion.
Before you get too far away from your eyeball, because I know we almost hopped into like wrestling talk.
Yeah.
So you saw the doctor. He gave you your new Thor contact lens. Did you bring up the patch?
That's on me. So that's
I really thought we were doing a show of the pirate patch tonight. I was kind of excited, and then I saw your freakish eyeball, and I'm a little let down. I wanted a big black pirate patch. Do they still do those?
That's on me. If I want to get a big old pirate patch, I gotta go get one. I'm glad you said pirate patch, because that's what I said to my wife last night, and I went, oh, I mean eye patch, but we both said pirate patch. So
what else would it be? It's a pirate patch. We all know what I'm talking about.
But yeah, that's what I'm ready to get that. When I'm ready to get that patch, they don't have, those aren't medical grade pirate patches.
They're not prescription?
No. Not yet. My wife.
You look like you're doing a Jim Brewer impression right now.
Well, I've mentioned before my wife's a doctor, and she said they have done, like, if it's really bad, that they'll do a patch that holds your eyelid down. But I don't necessarily need that because I need less eyelid touching my eyeball. So even when I made it to the doctor's office today, my eye hurt, but it was easier for me to leave it open and let it dry out so I could still sign all the documents and find the waiting area, because it's just
Jesus Christ.
Well,
so the contact,
it's so like fragile that like before I had the contact in, if I did this so I have an eye open, that means I'm looking around. Your other eye doesn't stay stationary, so my eye would be moving around just like when I use this one. So yeah. I've been scratching it the last couple of days till they put this contact lens in. So I've just been getting closer and closer to like the lens and the iris and the retina, and that's bad. So don't do that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's scary stuff, but thankfully it got taken care of today. I was the last patient that my eye doctor saw today, so he fit me in to give me the contact lens. I should stop covering my mouth while we're.
So you saw the eye doctor. The last thing before he goes home for Thirsty Thursday was look at your eyeball.
Mm-hmm. Is the question, how much confidence do I have in what happened?
Yeah, did it seem like he cared, or was he kind of mailing it in because it was the end of the day?
I've lost a lot of confidence in doctors in this whole rigmarole because, like, the idea is just that, yeah, it hurts, it sucks, it's gonna hurt again. Like, what happened to my eye, they said, is pretty normal. Like, other people, or most people that have those cuts on their eye will get another cut. Like, it just will happen within a month. And it's just kind of like, and we didn't plan to prevent this. And the doctor's like, no, we don't have anything. There's nothing in place. We just let it happen. You'll be back. We make more money. It's all,
So, is there, like if you, I'm trying to think of a good example, but you can like, if you're in a lot of pain, right?
Yeah.
You can like get a shot in your arm, it'll go numb. Or you're going to go to the dentist and you get a shot and then your face is numb and then they can do the surgery and you're not screaming in pain.
Right.
Is there something the eye doctor could have done to make your one eye lazy so it didn't run around all over?
No, they gave it to me. They gave me, it's just an eye drop. It's like, that's the thing that blows my mind, is that they haven't just let me take this thing home. But I guess I would have just scratched my eye and made it worse every day. But this eye drop, like I like going to the eye doctor when I've had this problem, because they give you the eye drop right away, completely numbs just the eye and the eyelid, and like all the pain goes away. It's fantastic. Like, I'm coming in there, my nose is dripping because there's so much pain on my eye. My nose starts to run, and all that just it's just gone right away. Like, I mean, I'm punching pillows and walls. It hurts so much. I told the doctor, like I said, this is a 9 out of, like they tell you, what's 1 out of 10. I say this is a 9.
The scale is
that
not
goddamn bad.
Yeah.
Like, think about, do you remember in The Mummy? I know we're going back to like 1998 or 96. Not the Scorpion.
Brendan Fraser. Yeah, his career was skyrocketing. Yeah.
Do you remember the guy that had the bug eating his body from the inside out, and he decided to just run into a wall to kill himself? Yeah. I'm not trying to kill myself, but I get it. Like, if my eye did not stop hurting, I don't know how I could take it. I don't know what I'd do. Like, it would just be like, no, hit me over the head with a pan until I can't feel this anymore. It hurts so goddamn bad. Whew.
Man.
Who's ready to talk wrestling?
You only got like 40 more years on Earth left, Matt, so that's good.
Get to, I mean, if it turns into me putting in eye drops, like they talked about these special eye drops I'll have to be putting into my eye possibly for the rest of my life, it'll just be something I get to hold over my daughter's head. You know? Oh, this is all you got, Daddy, for Father's Day, huh? All right, well, move over. I have to grab my eye drops that I need for the rest of my life because of you. All right.
You're gonna go on a date, huh? Well, I guess I'll try and put in my own eye drops.
I appreciate this macaroni picture of your hand. It's wonderful, I guess.
It's so good.
I hope it doesn't scratch my eye. Oh.
Here, can you help me with this lottery ticket? I know you got really good fingernails for that.
Although, I will say, if she makes me a macaroni picture of her hand and it has my eyeball at the end of one of the fingers, that would make my day. I would laugh so hard.
Like a ruptured ravioli at the end.
That would be great. Have like a ravioli with an olive. Just crack it open. All right, Mike, speaking of cracking things open, the WWE's hoping that Fox or Disney. This is great too. I got to tell this story.
Open those wallets.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Bingo, bango. Now this is how little credence there is to this rumor that Fox or Disney would be buying the WWE. First of all, this is coming from Dutch Mantel, who's also known as Zeb Colter. Oh, yeah, credible source there for WWE rumors.
Hey, we the people. All right, he came up with that. Good stuff.
Issue number 1 with his rumor is that he said Disney would be buying it, and it would be a joint purchase between Fox and ESPN. Problem number 1 here. Fox sold its content to Disney. People still to this day think that when SmackDown is on Fox, it's a Disney property. No, Fox is still Fox. Fox sold all of its content to Disney so that Disney had a bigger, that's all they were buying. They weren't buying the, whatever's on Fox, like the NFL Sunday. Fox is in the middle of rebranding itself to be more of conservative America's answer for entertainment consumption. They are still their own thing. So Zeb saying that, or Dutch, that's strike number 1, right? Number 2 was just that he said ESPN was buying it. No, it's not how it works. ESPN is owned by Disney. ESPN doesn't just go, oh, we're going to buy WWE now. No, it's just a channel, a brand. Like, it's not its own thing.
ESPN just kind of has their own agenda. Hope, hey, Disney's a little busy right now, so we're going to make a few transactions, I think.
Let's hope they don't notice.
All right. I think the reason we brought this up, nobody gives Dutch. Come on, Dutch. Nobody should really believe this. It's just that with the way the COVID situation is right now, it's not that far-fetched. And sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. So it's just something to think about, that potentially Vince could be eyeing those Disney dollars and getting some Mickey bucks. I don't know. It's not that crazy.
There's more issues.
There's more issues. Man, yeah. I thought we were good to go. There's more?
Disney was actually rumored just a month ago that they were going to be purchased by Apple or Amazon because their stock had dropped so much. So, I'll bring up another issue in a second and it relates to this. Wow. But Disney's not they've shut down their parks. Their movies are not being released. They are not in the position to be purchasing the WWE right now. There's nothing there. They have Disney Plus. That's about it. That's the only thing that should be raking in any dough, unless people are just setting up their vacations beforehand. But I don't know, like all of these. Okay, so there's that, right? And the other thing I read online when I was looking up this rumor was that people think that nobody's going to spend the $5 billion that Vince is asking for the WWE, which that's not how it works. He's not slapping a sticker on the building out in Connecticut. But the reason that there would be a rumor that they would be selling is because the stock had dropped so much. So that means the value of the company would have dropped, meaning that they'd have to be, if there is an asking price, it's much lower. That's why Disney was being rumored to be sold. And that rumor was also pretty soft and didn't have a lot to it. Disney would be so stupid to say this 1 9-month period is why we should sell our company. But think about that. Like the WWE would be at this point where it's like Vince, who's been really in charge of this since like 82, I think. I just saw that.
Yeah.
So
he got it from his dad. Yeah,
1982, and now he's gonna sell it when it's at its lowest point, and there's opportunity for it to come back. Like, it's not like we don't see the end of COVID soon. I'm not saying that I don't think it's a few months away. I think it's longer than that, but they'd have the opportunity to just get operations rolling again and then try and sell later. Like, all of this, none of this makes sense. And number one is that this is all coming from Zeb Colter. So, whose last name when he was a character was based off of Ann Colter. So there's like strike 5. So he's already on his way to striking out twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing about this, the fun conversation, is that I would be happy if this happened, because I think a lot of good changes would happen with the company. I think it would turn into like the way that we're enjoying Tony Khan's stuff, where he's just a fan of pro wrestling and he's helping put together AEW. I feel like somebody like that would be put in charge if it was a purchase by Disney or Fox. I think it's very unlikely that Disney would buy it and put it under the Disney umbrella, because it just right now doesn't really fit. Fox.
With that said, yeah. I mean, Hans Landa once said, "Oh, I love rumors. Facts can be so misleading, where rumors, true or false, are often revealing." So, Matt, I think I don't think WWE's Hans Landa. That was just my Michigan accent coming in, so it just sounded like, from Inglourious Bastards. That was little Christoph Waltz when he was getting his Oscar nomination.
Yeah, you got to throw in the reference.
Everybody knows Hans Landa on a first name. Come on. No, it's just I think like what that quote is saying is that some of these companies, like you mentioned, Disney, stock value dropping, WWE obviously as well, and that there's just financially you could kind of draw the line and see where this narrative could possibly come to fruition. But it's just like, if everything's down, I don't know who's swooping in with everybody like tightening the belt, punting on promoting content, selling content, creating content, while everybody's just sitting at home doing awful like Zoom content.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like this is the time, like the right time to start buying, and especially not for these companies to start selling. That sounds like a nightmarish way to really get, nickels on the dollar.
And think about, Disney has a brand new CEO right now. They just waved goodbye to Bob Iger and brought in Bob Chapek.
I think Bob Iger waved goodbye. I don't think Disney was like, all right, bye, Bob. I think Bob was like, I want to do something else. He's an amazing man. I think Disney was like, no. So,
but to that point though, like Bob Chapek's not going to come in.
His first move is not.
Bob Iger finishes picking up Pixar, Marvel,
I noticed
Star
a lot of
Wars.
us have iPhones. I think we sell Disney tonight. Who's with me? Let's make that big splash, huh? Who's with me?
Yeah, but he's not going to come in and he's sitting down in a meeting. First, he's not pitching this. But who's ever pitching, hey, WWE stock just dropped, and he's trying to live up to Bob Iger. There's no way that he's jumping in and like, those are the kinds of ideas we're looking for right now. Let's get another failing company. We'll push them together.
It's not happening.
No, it's not with Disney.
You can see the thread of where it might have come from, but it's not happening.
Yeah. No, it's a good rumor because you read it, and before you start doing the research, you're like, oh, it's got some credence to it. But then when you go from, you look at the table of contents, and then you go to like the preface. That's where you start to see the holes. Not even in chapter 1. It's the preface. That's where you're like, oh god, none of this makes sense. This is awful.
Well, it's I think some of this stuff coming up too is like we're starting to get to a point. I know we in Michigan at least are kind of feeling like, you know what, things are finally under control with COVID, and it's like we still have the third most deaths per state in the United States.
Yep.
But for some reason we think everything's good now. We've hit this plateau. There's still this very high likelihood that the disease is just going to rapidly, exponentially grow after everybody goes back to work, goes back to Applebee's, goes back to wrestling shows and stadiums before we should be. And it just gets way out of proportion, because nobody wants to stay home anymore. We have our short attention spans. We want to get back out into the social realm, and society's just going to be fucked.
Wait for those vaccines, folks.
If you think this quarantine's bad, just wait till the next one when we don't do this one long enough. So I guess what I'm saying is that potentially WWE could bottom out. Something like Disney could bottom out if they can't produce content and they got to sell it to somebody like Amazon. And Amazon is just rolling in dough right now, being one of the main companies that's still, firing on all cylinders. Sending their people out, into the disease-ridden war zones with masks and gloves. Sometimes, I've gotten a few packages that were, you felt kind of safe. Not really. I wouldn't have sent an elderly person to get my package. I would have sprayed it down first. It didn't look as safe as it could have been. Anywho, that's going down a whole other rabbit hole, but. We're operating now under this thought that, everything's going to be fine come May. The NBA said they're coming back. The NFL just had a draft. Everything's back to normal. And we don't know what's going to happen in a couple months, Matt.
No.
You could still potentially see all these sales as all these companies bottom out. So, yes, I think that Dutch is a wizard of getting clickbait going because he got us talking about it. He got a bunch of people clicking on whatever he said. But we're all just operating under this guise, everything's okay, and it's not quite there yet. We're not safe. Michigan, as an example, just again, we're halfway to getting 6 figures in terms of infections.
It's such a weird thought too that the anti or the I wouldn't even say someone playing devil's advocate. I mean, we've seen the people walking the Capitol building in Michigan with their AK-47s. To argue that it's not real while we're in the midst of quarantine and the quarantine is working, and to say we should stop quarantining because people aren't getting sick, there's such a, the gap between let's do a thing and it works and all this middle that they're missing where
yeah, that attention span it's literally going to be a killer. Because I don't know what they're missing. You can go to your restaurants and just get carry out. You're fine.
Yeah, you can go do your landscaping now. It's all available to you.
You could go golfing. You could go on your boat.
Just wear your goddamn mask.
You could go grocery shopping. I can go to Home Depot and get my stuff for the weekend.
There isn't
that much I'm missing out on.
Staining my deck.
As a small business owner, yeah, life's pretty hard right now. but I don't know if all these people clamoring up into the Capitol building in Michigan are all small business owners. That's not the feeling I get.
Yeah, I would just say, like, all of this, I don't know. It's like, for small businesses, I've done my part. I've been trying to buy from some restaurants. We make a point now, my wife and I, like even this week, where we were before putting down the recipes that we would do on a weekly basis. And just last night or 2 nights ago, we fit in on Tuesdays. It was Diamond Steakhouse. So they were saying they were going to open back up. So we're like, all right, they're opening back up for carry out. We must support them. So that morning we put in a pickup order and they had it ready to go at 4:00 for us. Like, you know, that's the easy step to take. But I also say some of these, I'm sorry to say, but some of these businesses are going to go out of business. Like, it's going to happen. And I'm fine with that. If I had a small business and I had to choose between putting more people in danger and just knowing like your name's attached to it, but there's so many different things that help small businesses from government, including just being able to declare bankruptcy and kind of start over. Like, there's so much there. And plus they're doing extra money going out to anybody that's struggling right now. And then there's probably going to be more laws to come. And folks, if you want more and you are of the conservative agenda, consider voting for Joe Biden. Or actually, let's back up a few months and vote for Bernie Sanders, because when you're asking for all these helps and handouts, if you'd voted for Bernie Sanders, they'd already be there. They'd be in place. And most of us would probably be working like 28-hour weeks, and we'd all be much happier. There'd be way more podcasts out there because we'd be working 28-hour weeks. We'd be taking time off because we have babies. We could actually take time off when we're hurt. When small businesses have issues like this, the government's able to step in and help. But I mean, you got to vote for Bernie first.
I think I don't think there's a lot there that I would disagree with. I just want to reel it back in and, you know, take it to wrestling. If, you know, if this is not a good time for small businesses to be expanding, and, you know, the usual faucet of business that we're used to is kind of at a drip right now, probably not a good time for you to sell your business, and probably not a good time to buy your business. And that ties into WWE, who, God, I don't know how they manage it. Vince McMahon and his chrome balls it's the only sport still producing content every week, multiple times. So I don't think that he's ready to cave and have his product be run by Disney. I don't think that that's something he would do. Maybe Triple H would do, because he's a good businessman, but Vince's chrome balls are not going to allow this to happen. I would be stunned is not the word, Matt, but I think we can move on. I think that this rumor it's just a microcosm of what COVID has done to our economy. It's what it's done to a wrestling promotion and a wrestling podcast. I think we can move on. It's just, we had to bring it up because it's just crazy enough that it could happen, but I don't think Vince's balls will allow it, man.
Well, yeah, let's talk. You wanted to talk Zelina Vega.
Yeah, just kind of some interesting stuff here. Kind of word getting out about Andrade, who, you know, Lucha Underground, he was really big. AAA, he was really good. You know, he was with Rey Mysterio before he got re-signed, and they were putting on great matches. And so WWE kind of rubbed those palms together and brought both those guys back to WWE to get some magic going. And Andrade was an NXT champion. He did really well down there, and they called him up to WWE, and they give him value because they have a lot of Latin wrestlers. You know, that a lot of those guys are in the cruiserweight division, but Andrade is a little bit bigger guy. They've not just pushed him, they've given him a real manager. And I think what I wanted to do is we might just lump these together. And it's just basically like WWE right now in a time of uncertainty. They're definitely using this time to experiment. And one of the things they're doing is pushing somebody like Andrade, who we've seen it in his promos. He does not comfortably speak English, which is why he has Zelina Vega as his mouthpiece in the first place. But additionally, Apollo Crews, while Andrade is getting this push, Apollo Crews, another guy who, as an American, also has his troubles with the English language, which is why he's not on the microphone. He's just out there being the incredible physical specimen that he is. WWE is taking this time to experiment. Matt, is this one of the blessings of COVID in a way where they're letting these guys who, maybe wouldn't have gotten an opportunity are suddenly getting pushes, getting heavy TV time, and they're winning matches?
I think so. I think that's one of the things we've pegged on social media when we're watching it live. I actually dubbed it the Apollo Crews COVID push while I was watching it. I was shocked that he's already out of Money in the Bank. They have him do that knee injury mid-match, so now he's done.
Well, the rumor is that there's supposed to be some gauntlet match on Monday to decide the last Money in the Bank spot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's all that is they're trying to replace Apollo, or they're trying to have him look like a conquering hero if he can, win that match with a busted knee.
Oh, well, if he's in that match, maybe, but it would be kind of weird if they said, you're out of the Money in the Bank, but you can win yourself back into the Money in the Bank after we took you out with your knee injury. I don't think that's what's happening. I think, they're going to try and fit somebody else in there that maybe they thought was sick and won't be, or maybe the hacker is coming in. It looks like one of those. Obviously, he didn't really get hurt, so it's not until we actually watch Money in the Bank we're going to know what's going on. But there's a couple of things there, like the hacker jumping back in, or somebody with a bigger name coming back.
No, it's just kind of been an interesting time because we've talked about how you can still strategically pick who gets a manager and who doesn't. Mm-hmm. Because we talk about strengths and weaknesses. What are you good at? What are you not good at? And Apollo Crews, I don't think there's anything physically that guy cannot do. The way he can sandwich, like
he can slap the fuck out of you. He can definitely do that. Out of you. Jesus.
He'll slap. Yeah, that was a pretty thunderous slap there.
Well, it was the same exact sound as Andrade smacking the metal belt, and then the next thing we hear is this Apollo slap across Andrade's face.
Yeah,
it both sounded like two trays of metal clanking against each other, except one was Andrade's face taking the hit.
Yeah, it sounded like someone took like a wet towel to the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz, just whang! I was like, wow, that was a dude's face. And I think Andrade was even a little like, ow!
Yeah.
What the hell, man? This is wrestling, piece of shit. Ow!
Well, he needs Zelina to say ow.
He just,
ow!
That was not cool. Yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was just going to sandwich that with his gorilla press, which is so seamless. It's terrifying how liquid his strength is. And then like a standing shooting star press.
Yep.
Like the dude's made in a lab. He's crazy athletic, and he could really use a mouthpiece. He could honestly use Zelina Vega, who right now is carrying 3 wrestlers. They just created a stable, and the stable is just guys who need somebody to speak for them. And it's Zelina, who knows how to sneer, knows how to get under your skin. I think her back and forth with Drew McIntyre the past couple weeks has been just one of the best segments on, Monday Night Raw.
But you're saying you think she's misplaced, or you just want to keep adding people to her stable?
Well, I don't know. Like, with this weird rumor that it just seems to kind of be WWE talking out of both sides of their mouth, where somebody like Brock Lesnar, who talks like a clown and he gets every opportunity, under the sun. Andrade, now the rumor is that he's not getting like main event title opportunities because he cannot speak English. but he has Zelina. And we know he has the ability, and it's just kind of like...
That's less a rumor and more of just, well, what have we seen in the past? That's probably what's going on.
What do you mean? Like in terms of
in
we have
terms
evidence
of like
what
WWE
Andrade's...
decision making?
Okay. Yeah. I guess this is just kind of the those who speak, those who have word in the locker room, those with ears, I guess, are just hearing that Andrade would be getting that next level push from Vince if he did say something in English.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that... sorry, the drugs are getting to me. The problem with that is, like, we could also say, like, man, Dolph would probably be champion multiple times if he just didn't sound like such a fucking weenie when he gave his promos. Like it's the... me. Yeah, it should have been me. We've talked a lot about, like, casting. I think it's more, in my opinion, it's the decision to just go full bore into, like, if we're gonna let Asuka do Japanese promos, we have to not treat it like a joke and let it be a real thing, and then, like, sell the believability to the fans. But I mean, I agree. It would be nice to see Apollo get a real push. But I'm going to remind you that we said 20 minutes, and we are at 36 minutes now. Okay. And my eyeball's starting to hurt. So,
all right, we can start to reel it in. No, just I think that's a great counterexample, bringing up Asuka, because nobody knows what she's saying, but it's still so charismatic and impassioned. We're all in, hook, line, and sinker, and we just want the most out of her career, and we just want her to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe Andrade not necessarily learn English, but maybe learn Asuka. It's an unspoken language of wrestling charisma. Matt, I know one thing we like to do before we close out the show is just kind of do the Wednesday Night Wars. And
I apologize, everybody. It's hopefully you understand why we're cutting it short.
Yeah, with Matt's eyeball not working, it's a little tough for him to do the show anyway.
Also, it was super tough for me I did not watch any wrestling on Wednesday. It kind of makes sense because I could not open my eyes.
All right, well, I'll try and give you a quick rundown here. We'll do some quick top threes on both shows. Matt, moment number 3 for NXT, Charlotte demolishing Mia Yim. Some people gave this a really good grade. Matt, it's what we foresaw. Yeah. Charlotte coming in and just destroying any woman of credibility on NXT. Charlotte looked dominant. Mia, had a few spots, but yeah, I don't know. You didn't watch the match, but Matt, based on that description, how do you feel about that?
I mean, yeah, you said it right. That's what we thought was the fear. The only thing is we were also happy that Mia Yim was the first choice because that's someone she could destroy, and I think she's done a lot of losing in NXT, so we weren't really in any danger of losing like a top talent, like if she had like just run over Io. So at least from that perspective, like that sucks to say that's the silver lining, is that at least she destroyed someone that already loses every match. So kind of weird. Yeah. Still don't understand the decision, but now we're only in the middle of it. So got a long way to go before we hit the end.
Yeah, for sure. Moment number 3 for AEW, I'd say, is probably Britt Baker getting a full about 7-minute segment of her just being in her doctor's office and berating her sidekick makeup assistant. We might have a third party here. It's the frog. Pet frog wakes up here. All right. Frog weighing in definitely agrees with Britt Baker. Matt, I think it's just important to notate 2 things. One, Britt taking more shots at Tony Schiavone, who, when the camera cut back to him, she cut at his weight, at his crooked teeth, and his inability to speak. I think he came just a little off guard for that. I think he was a little humbled by her heel work, so I felt kind of bad for that. He's like, I don't know why she said that. I thought we were friends. He legitimately sounded kind of hurt, and it kind of broke my heart a little bit. But we finally have a female doing non-title work, it should have been me promos. None of that. It was just her being a turd, being entitled. She wasn't even gunning for championships. She was just getting out how great Britt Baker is. Matt, don't we need to see more of this? Not just in AEW, but across both promotions.
Absolutely not. No way. Yeah, absolutely you should. What's your number 2 for NXT?
Number 2 for NXT, Matt. I'm gonna go ahead with Candice LeRae, Matt. So we're doing back-to-back women's contributions to the show here. Candice is debuting new music. She's got a new color to her hair, which is always a metaphoric change. And she got a win over Mrs. Ricochet. I think it's a good idea. I think Candice and Gargano, kind of run it dry as far as being the baby faces of the company. I'm excited for this. Matt, didn't you think this was I wouldn't even say it's overdue. I would say this is just good timing to kind of reboot both those characters.
I agree.
Matt, well said. Number 2 here.
Sorry, my eye really hurts right now.
Sorry. Number 2 for AEW. We just had a series of squashes. We had Shawn Spears, Wardlow, and Brody Lee all won in squashes, and then Murderhawk defeated Dustin Rhodes in kind of a glorified squash. I don't think that any of them were really out of place either. As this promotion tries to build up some of their monsters, try to build up some of their heels, I don't know if there's really a world where right now you want Wardlow having 20-minute classics, where you want the Murderhawk having a 25-minute classic with Dustin Rhodes. And Brody Lee, again, another guy you don't want, somebody going toe-to-toe with him. Of those matches, obviously Murderhawk fought, the guy we love, one of Dusty Rhodes' kids who's been in the game forever. But the one who, interestingly enough, had the most credible squash was Brody, because he fought Marco Stunt, who, gets pretty good TV time. So I think it was just kind of neat to see how they divvied up, not just that there was a squash, but who you squashed. And that right now this company really favors Brody, and they really favor the Murderhawk.
Those all make sense to me, and I was pretty happy to watch even last week. So this is 2 straight weeks in a row, I guess, is what you're saying, of Wardlow and Brody getting some squashes in. But yeah, that's what you need to do, and especially at this time, I think if you're going to throw in some squash matches to kind of get some matches and some content out of the way while there won't be any fans there, you don't really get huge reactions during squash matches, especially with guys and characters you're trying to build. It'd be different if it was like Kenny Omega out there, but yeah, getting those guys just to build their character, this is the time to do it, and those were all the right decision in my book.
Yeah, number 1 moment from NXT, Matt, and it's one that I think could have had a little more oomph to it if we didn't have the results that we had last week, but Drake Maverick evened up his win-loss record in this cruiserweight tournament and defeated Tony Nese. Best abs in the business. I don't know the last time you saw Tony Nese's ring gear, Matt, but he purposefully cuts it out, so all you see is the abs.
Yeah.
But Drake,
he's had that he's got his corn in the cob out.
Yeah, he's corn on the cob. Drake, won a match that I think maybe lost a little bit of the emotional tug to it, knowing that he's not going to go undefeated, knowing that he's not going to job out all the way. Matt, I know your eyeball's killing you, but what is the end game for Drake here? Why did they even give him a win?
I think it's just if he's already moving on, if that's the case, just to he did so much while he was here to be such a doofus. I think maybe they're just giving him the rub that he maybe doesn't even need, but the one that he deserves before he heads out. And if he's actually sticking around, then build up the guy that you're going to keep.
Yeah, I never would have thought that of all the guys and ladies that WWE was releasing, that the one who would get the Dean Ambrose treatment would be Drake Maverick. Because remember, Dean on the way out got to have some wins. He got prominent TV time. He got promos. He got to get himself over. Obviously, it's probably, because they want to sell some Shield DVDs and T-shirts. But still, knowing he's going to be such a prominent spot on AEW, they're basically promoting a guy and making him look like $1 million out the door. So, surprising decision there, Matt. And the number one moment was just because it was the best match. And then I guess I had the question that I did want to toss your way here was the Rhodes Brothers pulled the curtain and they closed the show. The best match was opening, Cody and Darby. This was match number 3. First one was a draw. Second one was Cody victory. Third one, also a Cody victory. The match is all about that TNT television tournament. So basically what we're setting up now is Cody and the Murderhawk in the finals. So Matt, my question I posed to you, I know you didn't get to see it, eyeball putting you on the DL there, but do the long-term implications of this tournament's finale, do they balance out Darby getting jobbed out again?
I mean, from what I saw, it looks like he landed his finisher, and it was one of those half-C finishes where Cody gets to walk away with the win, but he's more damaged than Darby. So they at least tried to make it 50-50 for the victory, which is one of my least favorite things to do in pro wrestling. But, I mean, we talked about it last week. Like, we knew Darby was going to lose, and I didn't like that the Spanish God lost last week. So that's why I thought it made more sense for him to beat Darby, was because we knew that Cody was going to go to the finals. And now Cody's really just crossed out Darby on his book for guys to fight instead of it being, a draw and then a win and a loss. Now it's a draw, 2 wins, boom, done. Now the next time we fight, I've already taken you down, so you've got to, sneak in 2 wins. I don't know. There's a lot to dissect there before it's juicy again,
it definitely feels like this is all a big move to get over the Murderhawk, because if you had a finals that was Darby versus TNA. Murderhawk, right? Yeah,
kind of scary.
Yeah, I guess even if Darby, if he won, Murderhawk goes down, not a credible monster. If he has a somewhat competitive match, Murderhawk goes down, not a credible monster. So I guess at all costs, they want to get over a guy with a red braided mohawk. And if your goal is to have everybody get over, Darby's already over because he put up a pretty good fight against, the biggest name in the company, the CEO. Cody's going to be in the finals, and then Murderhawk is more than likely going to be the first champion with this belt. So I guess you could see 3 for 3. It's just, at what point do you finally start letting Darby win? Because he had the best match of Wednesday.
Well, if you want to check out the rest of our content, folks, you can go to bodpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com. Again, sorry for cutting it short. Actually, we didn't really cut it too far short now that I look at the time. But hope you enjoyed the episode. And again, it's at BOD Podcast on Twitter, at brothers_of_discussion on Instagram. And again, starting this Monday, I'm going to be trying to do nap time from the Brothers of Discussion, discussing on Twitter live whatever's going on that day, and then we can keep up to date on Monday Night Raw, see what's going on Wednesdays, all that fun stuff. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in, and hopefully I'll have 2 eyeballs when I see you on Monday. All right, bye. Woo!